Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. And as you can tell, I'm outside. It is snowing here in Texas. We have been locked in the house for about a good 3 or 4 days. And finally, I'm able to come out here because the sun is out. It's not as cold, but the snow is still on the ground. We haven't even left to go anywhere. So I decided, I was out here dry firing just a little bit, just to get out the house. Once you're stuck in the house for snow days and stuff like that, you kind of need to get out here and get some fresh air. So I came out here to dry fire and I started thinking, like, somebody mentioned in my comments one day that new shooters should start with 9mm as their first caliber. So I was like, let me address that in a video and just kind of see what you guys think. I'm gonna share with y'all what I think, but just kind of start a conversation piece. So as many of you know, if you've been following the channel, I've been shooting with Monica. Monica's been coming to the range with me for the last 2 weeks. And one of the decisions that Monica made was to start out with her first firearm being the Glock 44 chambered in .22 long rifle. So a couple people in the comments was like, she shouldn't have started with that. She should have started with 9mm, blah, blah, blah. So I'm addressing it now from two different perspectives. So when me and Monica first started talking about which caliber, which firearm she should start out with, I immediately told Monica, hey, you need a 9mm. And so Monica had went to the range already and shot the 9mm and the .22 long rifle. And she expressed to me that the .22 long rifle felt better to her. She was able to maintain the recoil. It was an easier shoot. She even showed me a video that she had where she shot the 9mm and that thing was like pop. So with that being said, Monica went with the .22 long rifle, as many other new shooters would do. So I think that the best caliber for a new shooter is whatever feels comfortable to you. So, you know, a .22 long rifle, what are the pros of carrying a .22 long rifle as a new shooter? Well, it's easier to shoot. It's compared to like a BB gun with a little more recoil. You can find that ammo anywhere. It's affordable to practice with. The ammo is very cheap, so you can always practice and live fire with that and it really not break your bank. And for somebody who hasn't shot a gun at all or has minimum or little to no experience with a gun, it may build that confidence. So we're talking about somebody who's never shot a gun before, talking about new shooters. And when you hand them a .22 and you tell them, hey, it's compared to like a BB gun, and they shoot it for the first time, you see that, like, oh, it ain't that bad. You get that kind of feeling, which is what we want for new shooters. We don't want them to feel as intimidated or as scared starting out, which those are common feelings. But to start them out with something like a .22 will allow them to be like, okay, that wasn't that bad. And then they get comfortable with it. The downfall with .22 long rifles starting out as your first caliber as a new shooter is the malfunctions that come with the .22 long rifles. So .22 long rifles are rimfire cartridges. So you got, you know, the different compounds that may or may not be the best for that cartridge, especially when you buy bulk ammo. You get it to where they move around. All that ammo is moving around in there, so it could shift the compound a little bit. So you got all the malfunction issues that you could have with .22 long rifle, especially if you buy the cheaper brand. As long as you're buying the quality brand, you should have no issues. It's not to say you won't, but you shouldn't have as many issues. Ammo is kind of sensitive, just depending on what you buy. And then honestly, which is what I told Monica, is .22 long rifle is not ideal for self-defense. So we're talking about new shooters. New shooters are typically those people who are wanting to start to protect themselves. They want a firearm because, hey, the world we live in is crazy. I want to make sure I have a firearm so I can protect myself. And in my honest opinion, .22 long rifle is not the ideal ammo for self-defense. It's not to say that it can't do any damage, because I like to watch true crime, and I watched a true crime the other day, and this guy broke into people's house and unalived a man on the couch while he was asleep with a .22 long rifle. He shot him twice in the eye. So, you know, given the circumstances, the shot placements and all that good stuff, .22 long rifle could do the job. However, you don't want to have to fire that .22 long rifle 2 and 3 and 4 times to neutralize your threat. So that's my biggest thing, is .22 long rifle is just not ideal for self-defense. And we're talking about people who are just now getting into firearms. They want to defend themselves. So What's the next best option? And this is the option I told Monica, which was 9mm. 9mm is the most common cartridge around. You can find all sorts and all brands of 9mm. You got your full metal jackets, you got your hollow points. You've got so many different 9mm. And when we think about self-defense, you hear a lot of times people who do use their firearm that's chambered in 9mm in self-defense, they neutralize their threat with at least one shot. That's all it took. It doesn't really take that much because of the power that's behind that 9mm cartridge. However, when we talk about introducing newcomers and new shooters to the 9mm cartridge, it can be a little bit intimidating. One, because that recoil is going to surprise them, especially if they've never shot a firearm a day in their life. That recoil will surprise them. It's not to say that some people who are starting out would love that 9mm, but then you have others is like, this is too much. This is like starting out initially, this is too much for me. So therefore I say the 9mm is a perfect option. However, it's not the perfect option for everybody. What I would say is the best cartridge for a new shooter is the cartridge that feels good to them. If that is a 22 long rifle, then girl and sir, train your butt off with that 22 long rifle. Get familiar with it. Get familiar with the malfunctions if that so happens to happen for you. Make sure if you don't want to deal with the malfunctions, go with more quality 22 long rifle ammo. If 9mm is your way to go, train that recoil, or train yourself to be able to manage and maintain that recoil, because the 9mm is a great option to get started with. But if you can't manage it, don't start with it, because you're going to do yourself harm more than you're trying to harm your threat. And we're not even going to talk about 40 cal and 45 cal. We're not even going to talk about that, because for a new shooter, I don't know a new shooter that would appreciate having that as their first cartridge, because you talking about managing recoil, them too. So I would go with, and I actually have them right here, comparison. We have our 22 long rifle, and then we have our 9mm. So if we put the two side by side, obviously we can tell the difference as you look at them. 22 long rifle, 9mm. 22 long rifle is like half the size of a 9mm, and it definitely does not have the power or the compound in it that a 9mm does. So with that being said, go with the one that suits you best as a first-time shooter. And I always say this, go and shoot them both. Don't just go and buy a 22 long rifle firearm and say, well, this is what I should start out with because I think it's cute, it's small, and then you wind up like, that's it? That's all the power there is? Or vice versa, don't go get a 9mm firearm and you can't maintain the recoil. And you're like, oh my God, no, this is too snappy, this is too much. Just go shoot them both and get some time behind them before you make your final purchase or decision on which one you would decide to start out with as a first-time shooter. Ultimately, when we're talking about which caliber works the best for first-time shooters, that's all fine and dandy, but what really matters is the fit of your firearm and you training with it. You want to make sure you get the right firearm that fits the best for you. You don't want to get something that's way too big or something that's way too small. You want to get what works for you. You want to find that firearm that works for you. And then obviously the caliber will come with it, but training. It's just not enough for y'all new shooters, because I'm not a new shooter anymore, but it's not enough for y'all new shooters to say, oh, I want a firearm. Oh, I want my LTC or my CCW because, you know, it's crazy out here and that's the thing to do. And then you buy the firearm and it just sits in your closet, or it just sits in the case from when you first bought it. Like, it's not enough to bark so loud that you want to get a firearm and then you get it and you never train with it. You literally just spent money to say that you have something, but you're not really utilizing that weapon or that machine as it needs to be utilized. Like, you have to train with it. And even if you can't get to the range as often as your buddies or as often as your girlfriends, then just train at home. train on the fundamentals, train on the mechanics, dry fire. Like, all that stuff matters when you get your firearm. Thank you for taking the first step to get the firearm. Now we got to do the rest, and the rest is to train with your firearm. So y'all let me know down in the comment section, when you were a first time gun owner or firearms owner, what caliber did you start with? And I'm talking about you ain't never had a gun before, you didn't grow up on guns, it was just like your first time getting a firearm. What was that caliber for you? And I will like literally laugh if somebody gets down there and tell me that their first ever caliber was like a 40 cal or 45 ACP. That will blow my mind. Because shout out to you for taking that jump and that risk. So again, y'all, it is a little snowy here in Texas. I will try to get to the outdoor range or the indoor range as soon as these roads clear up, just trying to stay safe, not go out and put ourselves in harm. But if you want to, you can follow me on my Instagram right here. This is where you can see me doing a lot of stuff that you won't see me doing on YouTube. So just check out my Instagram. Also follow me on Rumble. A lot of you did go and follow me on Rumble simply because YouTube is very finicky about me going to the gun stores and reviewing. So I do post all these videos that I post on YouTube. I do post them on my Rumble channel. So Instagram _summer_shoots_. Rumble is Summer Shoots. And just stay tuned with me. Hope to see y'all soon, and I hope to have a new match for y'all coming soon. We had 3 matches scheduled this past weekend, and all 3 of them got canceled. When I tell you I was hot, I was so hot about it because I was so ready to shoot. So now I have not shot a match in almost a week and a half. So you know I'm fiending for it. So y'all just stay tuned. Make sure y'all comment. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. We are on our way to 50,000 subscribers, and I would so appreciate if you guys could help me get to 50,000, because this year we will get to 100,000 subscribers. But first, we got to get to 50,000. So make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel. Please, please, please subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one, and until next time, stay armed, stay safe, and stay vigilant. Peace.